Welcome, my name is Oliver. I am a robot, but enough about me. This isn't about me, this is about Saul, and Richard, and video games, and the universe. So come with us, or more specifically, with them. Enter the save state, save state, save state, save state, save state.
Hello everyone and welcome once again to the Safe State Gaming Podcast. This is episode 9. My name's Saul.
And I'm Richard Hornby. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm so sorry about last week's absence.
Yeah, just a bit of housekeeping. Sorry we haven't had an episode in the last couple of weeks. Life has been getting in the way.
Which tends to do.
Richard had some legal issues that he had to sort out.
Have you ever been to a Taiwanese jail, Saul?
No, but...
the food is terrible, seriously.
Yeah, you were very lucky to get out of that situation with your hands.
What hand? Oh no, though. Bloody Stumps.
But hopefully we'll be back to a more regular schedule from this week. So once again, thanks for joining us. We're going to jump straight into it this week with what we've been playing. So anything new this week on the horizon? Hey!
Anything new? Well, I've been keeping it topical, Saul. So I've been playing my old GameCube again. I woke up on my day off and I was in a bit of a foul mood, so I thought I'd go into CEX in the vain hope that I'd find, for some really random reason, Rogue Leader. Which was the Star Wars space shooter by Factor 5.
Yeah,
like back in the day. And I went down and it was there, which was a magical surprise, and it only cost about £8. So I took that back and I was playing it, and I'm still loving it. Seriously, y'all, you get to play X-Wing, you get to play
Y-Wings,
A-Wings, G-Wings,
Chicken Wings,
yeah. Ducky Wings.
What a game though, right?
What a great game. But I must admit, the first mission really annoyed me, because it's basically the end of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and it's the trench bit, you know, when you go into the Death Star and you're flying along, and it's awesome. It's so good. I had literal goosebumps. I was like playing. I was Luke Skywalker, then Darth Vader and his two cronies come in and they're shooting at me, and then fucking Han Solo comes in. He's like, "Let's blow this thing, kid, and go home." And I was like, "Yes, Han, we will do that." ...
Yeah.
How do I do that? And I was like firing this photon torpedo, and I don't know what I did though. And I was like, how though? And I just didn't. And then basically it destroyed Alderaan, and I dramatically altered the timeline. So that is basically what's happened to me this week with my gaming.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. Stand by. Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Basically, like a good crack addict, I've been coming down from my addiction from Dark Souls games. Yeah, but I went back and I played this game called Demon Souls. And yeah, basically Demon Souls is the precursor to all the Dark Souls ones. It's the first one. It's one where they road tested all the mechanics and things of that nature. And I went back with it and enjoyed it, but got hard stuck on a level, and I thought it was being a bit unfair. And then I googled how to get past it, because when you get to that point, but you want to love a game, you do occasionally cheat on your own sensibilities.
Yeah, I mean, this game's 6 years old now?
It's 2009, I believe it was released, so it's about
8 years old.
So I did Google it because I wanted to get on with it, and then it was like this level, which I thought was level 3, was level 5, and I was like, level 5? And then I went back to the hub world and I discovered there was other levels that I could have been doing. So I went back and I'm doing the other levels, and I'm loving it. It's like a less polished Dark Souls, but it's still Dark Souls, and I love that shit, man.
So why did you get stuck? Was it an enemy that you came up against, or was it you just couldn't find where you were meant to be going?
It was like basically a precursor to Blighttown being like a poison-filled gamer punchline from the first one about how hard it was.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm wandering through this fucking poison muck, and I'm getting poisoned all the time. Whereas Dark Souls has the good grace of actually telling you how much poisoned you actually are. It has a poison meter.
Right.
Demon Souls doesn't. And I'm like, there must be in the
Just to make it that little bit harder.
Just to make it a little bit harder. And I'm thinking, it must just be cumbersome, and it's in the stats maybe. I go on, and it's not. You don't know how poison you are. So I got stuck in that, and I pretty much cold quit Demon's Souls not cold quit, because I always wanted to get back, and it is my mission in life. Some people want to go to Harvard University and get a medical degree. Some of us just want to platinum every single Dark Souls game.
Souls game. So Dark Souls, Demon Souls, or that's what
I believe the correct phrase is Blood Souls.
Blood Souls. So that includes Bloodborne.
Yes, of course, yes. Bloodborne 2, by the way.
Yeah. We heard anything about that? I mean, it's in development. We're sure about that, right? But
are we sure about that?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is it going to happen? Oh, I love you, Saul. You're making me happy.
I mean,
because I'm not 100% sure about it, because I don't know, man.
No,
there's something about From Software's main team that speaks of artistic integrity. They might not be pumping the old cash cow. But this new thing, Prepare to Dine, which I think we talked about last week, with the vampire cell shaded thing, I thought that was made by the mainline From Software team, but it's not. It's just published by them. So
that's right. Yeah.
So Miyazaki, the guys who make Dark Souls, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing Bloodborne 2, aren't they? Please do. Give me Bloodborne 2, and then I'll lay off for a while.
I'm pretty sure that Bloodborne 2 is as certain as the sun rising tomorrow, which actually, in today's current political climate with King Jong-un, is maybe not that likely, but I'm almost certain that we're going to get a Bloodborne 2. I think that it sold phenomenally well and was a great showcase for like a lot of the powers of the PlayStation 4, and it was a really great exclusive. I'm sure that'll happen.
Do you think it'll be an exclusive next time around? Because it won't be. It'll be...
I think it will. Anything else you've been playing this week?
What was I playing? I played that new Tales of the Borderland game. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very funnily written, and I'm looking forward to having an incredibly joyous journey towards that is the platinum.
So you think you'll platinum it? I mean,
for fuck's sake, Saul.
Yeah.
It's a Telltale game. The reason why I laugh heartily at that is because a lot, but not all. If you, I've Wikipedia'd it because I really want to buff my trophy collection specifically to get ahead of Saul because I've got a small penis. Is Telltale games, all you need to really do is complete them to actually get the platinum.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Yeah, not all of them. That's what I just said. Yeah.
So I think like Tales from the Borderlands Series 1.
But the ones that you don't need to complete, there is no platinum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's just no platinum.
Oh, that sucks dick. Yeah. That's terrible. Why? Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me. Like, yeah, but I'm saying like why have the first series of a game with a platinum, then the second not? That to me doesn't make sense.
Are you talking about Walking Dead? I think, Walking Dead episode Series 2 didn't have a platinum, did it?
And I think it's the same for... No, Wolf Among Us was
no, the Wolf Among Us does have a platinum because I'm planning on getting that when it's on sale and adding it to my collection.
Sega challenges you with the ultimate video game, the Sega Master System.
Hang on.
With more accurate control, more detailed graphics, more levels of play.
Awesome.
The Sega Master System comes with power-based 2 control pads, light phaser, and 2 great video games. Hang On and Safari Hunt.
Gotcha.
And with other games like Rambo, Outrun, and Choplifter, the excitement never stops. The Sega Master System. The challenge will always be there.
How about you, man? What have you been playing?
Not that much, you know. Like I've been having a bit of a lull, mainly because I've been working a lot the last couple of weeks. But so if I've had time to play a game, it's been something that's just been really small, bite-sized that I can just like jump in and out of. Okay. So I've been playing a lot of Darkest Dungeon. I've been playing this game I first started playing this game about 2 years ago when it was
released.
No, this is when it was on Steam. Like on Steam Greenlight, I think is where it first popped up.
Oh, okay.
And since then, it's been really interesting to see all the changes that they made from the game because it's quite a vastly different game actually from when it was first released.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Just in terms of like, they added, for example, things like so when you kill an enemy, they now leave a body, which means to get to the enemies that are behind the bodies, you then have to get rid of the body. It's quite hard to explain because it's a very deep, very complex kind of...
It's got a sort of old school PlayStation 1 or SNES era Final Fantasy mechanic towards it.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So turn-based combat, each one of your party occupies like one of 4 slots in the position on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And each party member is preferential to one of these slots, but then enemies have abilities that you can move around the slots, which means that you can't use certain abilities. And like for those of you who don't know, like the main kind of really interesting mechanic behind this game is stress. So not only do your characters take health damage, but they also take stress damage. And when they get to a certain point, like when they get that stressed, they become afflicted with certain like debilitating abilities, so they can be like masochistic, so then they'll just like hurt themselves. You're like, oh dude, what the fuck?
Did they get sick pay?
But so like not only are you having to manage health, but you have to, like, once you finish the level, you exit the dungeon, then you then have to spend money to reduce your character's stress levels, and it's just a really, really cool mechanic which I'd like to see actually implemented in other stuff, because it really makes you think about your actions a bit more.
Absolutely,
and your party composition, that kind of stuff. But it's hard as fuck, man. Like, on my first playthrough, I probably put about 50 hours into it, and maybe about halfway through it, I got into one mission, my 4 main highest level characters died, and I was pissed, and I just like deleted my save. I was like, fuck this game. Oh yeah, your character dies, and like after every round of combat, the game saves, so you cannot load. It's a pain in the ass.
Oh wait, so you can't go back to a previous save state?
No, no, you can't. So if you die,
that's hardcore, man. Respect for that game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So one of the reasons I started playing it again was they released an update with a few more kind of game modes. So you still got the original hard as fucking nails game mode, but they have something called Radiant, which makes the game a little bit easier. Like you get more loot, you get more experience and more coins for each dungeon that you do. So it just makes the progression system a bit easier and a bit faster. So I'm still playing through that. I've probably put about another 15 hours into this playthrough, and we'll see what happens. But I will probably, I imagine, end up rage quitting again. I think the same thing will happen as last time. I'll just get stuck and fuck it off.
I beg you, return home, claim your birthright, and deliver our family from the ravenous, clutching shadows of the darkest dungeon.
Anyway, apart from that, played a bit of Tropico 5, which was free. It was a free PlayStation Plus game, probably about a year maybe ago. Yeah. Really enjoying it, like another game that I just dip into every now and again, but it's got me thinking, right?
Yeah, okay.
I'm a big fan of strategy games.
Okay.
And there is a distinct lack of them on consoles.
Absolutely, I've been saying this for years, it does my head in.
Yeah, so like, I feel like the strategy game kind of era on consoles was best. What would you say?
PlayStation 1 era, of course.
Yeah.
Because think about it, what did you have? You had the Command & Conquer games, which brought me into the entire genre. And Command & Conquer Red Alerts, Command & Conquer Revelations, I believe it was called, which was, they were wonderful. They were great. It was the golden era, and it got worse since then. Because I mean, like the era after that, with the or 2 eras after that, with the Xbox 360, when they released Red Alert 3 or whatever. They did this really weird thing. Did you play the game Red Alert 3?
No, I didn't know.
They did this really bizarre thing. Do you know in the original ones you could draw a squirt around, or you could click on
like group units?
Yeah. In the new one, it had sort of a point and click thing where you clicked on something and it had a vague area, and you vague area'd everything. So you ended up not getting 100% of what you actually wanted to go into to create that fight.
Huh.
Which was I reckon for me that is when console strategy games died.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I think you're right. The PlayStation 1, you had stuff like the Bullfrog games, Theme Hospital, Theme Park, all these kind of great
man. Bullfrog era, man. Do you know I went to Alton Towers this week?
Did you?
Yeah. It was awesome, man. And I couldn't. The first thing I did after losing a leg on Smiler, by the way, I didn't lose a leg on Smiler, and it's an awesome roller coaster. Please go check it out. Was I went home and I played Theme Park for the Snoopy Nintendo.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Absolutely. Bullfrog, man. Bullfrog all the way.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so they had that, and then on PlayStation they brought it forward with they had Theme Hospital. What else did they have? Did they have anything else?
I can't think of many other PlayStation strategy games like.
Apparently Civilization 2 was on the PlayStation.
Yeah, you had games like Populous and that kind of stuff. But like, I think the problem with strategy games on consoles is you need to be very tactile with how you select your units, and so I think for that a mouse is by far the best kind of controller that you can use for strategy games.
Sure, of course it is. However, I don't believe on this thing where on the console ports like, oh, you can't do it, it's not the same as a mouse. It doesn't matter that much, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't feel like it does. I'm sure it is better with a mouse, but at the end of the day, I fucking loved Command & Conquer on the PlayStation.
Totally.
I loved it.
I think it's hard to go from playing with the mouse back to a console. But I think if you've never really had the mouse experience, then you wouldn't know. Like it's still a great game, no matter whether you're playing it on PC or PlayStation. It's just, it's what you're used to. But I think that it just got me thinking about the lack of like strategy games. I was reading recently that City Skylines, which is by all accounts I think a really really good SimCity kind of clone, basically, has just come to Xbox One, but there's no PS4 release date. Yeah.
Is it what kind of clone is that then? Because that's quite interesting.
It's basically a SimCity game where
I know.
Where you build your city, you have to manage taxes, income, all this kind of stuff, manage your population.
It's sort of the game that's the new SimCity wishes it would be.
Exactly.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That is the impression I'm getting from the media and stuff, though. But that sounds quite interesting. I'd like to jump on board with that. But it's on Xbox One.
Yep.
Not PlayStation 4.
As far as I know, no release date yet for the PlayStation 4, it makes me sad because I don't have the Xbox One and I love the strategy games. And
I do own both, but I've got some kind of really bizarre mental block from playing anything that isn't my own PlayStation.
Do you play your Xbox One much?
No.
Why? Just because of lack of games, or
just because I'm trying to beef up my trophy collection and I can get my cock bigger than your cock?
Got a long way to go.
Long way to go. Yeah.
Legendary Muscat Dong is a force to be reckoned with. Isn't much grabbing me at the moment in terms of games that I really want to jump into, and I suppose that's to do with the E3 coming up in like 3 weeks, is it? Something like that. So I thought that what we'd do today was maybe just do things a little bit out of order. So I thought we'd maybe talk about our predictions for Sony E3 and then we'd go into the news after that. Sound good?
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's do that.
Let's do it. All right. So what? First off, just kind of talking big broad strokes. What do you want to see out of Sony at E3?
What do I want to see out of Sony at E3?
Not necessarily just talk about games yet, but we can start with VR. Do you think they're going to have much of a VR presence?
Don't talk to me about VR, Saul. Jesus fucking Christ, we've had this conversation. Alright, I don't want to see any VR. I don't care about it. Just drop it. I don't think it is. Yeah, no, I've not. I'm not going to fuck.
There you go.
Right, whatever, man. Buy one, make me play it, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
But I don't reckon VR will have a big presence this year.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I think due to a number of reasons that I just don't think it's taken off as well as they would have hoped. Mainly, still £400, and it's still really hard to find one of the
price points.
Yeah.
And this isn't a £400 piece of kit that you can buy and play out the box. You need to own a PlayStation 4 as well.
Exactly, and
so it's not a jumping off point. Really,
decent TV and yeah. So I don't think there's going to be much VR this year. But I think what we are going to have is a shitload of really good games.
So do I.
Shitload of really good games.
And I'm going to tell you exactly how this conference is going to start. They should just do what they did last year, because I thought last year was fucking Oscar worthy. They didn't have somebody come out and go, "Hi, welcome to the PlayStation conference."
Uh-huh.
It started, the stage went to black, and then a full orchestra came on, and it was amazing. And then they just opened with the game announcement of the new God of War.
Yeah. By
game announcement, I mean, not a dude didn't come on. He just showed it after the orchestra.
Yeah.
This is how you do shit, man. And then PlayStation have smashed the shit out of it in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again this year. I am super excited to see what's going to happen this year. In regards to what I'd like to see, can we have some Final Fantasy VII remake shit?
Yeah, I think it's time, right? I think that and Shenmue, I think it's time that we saw a little bit of, I think just to, quell any rumours or bad feelings that people might have about it. I think that they need to show something. I think it's time.
Exactly.
I think it's time. What do you think about Last of Us 2? You think we'll get any gameplay from that? Maybe even a release date?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll get a release date. No,
I think it's a bit early for a release date. But
I think we'll get gameplay. I think we'll get gameplay. Yeah. I think that we will get some of that gameplay.
Yeah.
Further to that, what else is there? PlayStation.
I
reckon there'll be some surprises. I reckon there'll be some new IPs that we don't know about, which will probably be marvellous. Because PlayStation, let's be honest here, folks. And I don't know if you do on an Xbox or what, but PlayStation have really sort of they've slowly rolled Xbox's pants down and slided them in the ass when it comes to first-party IPs this generation, haven't they?
100%.
Xbox seems to have given up. If anything, they've like, I can't do it. I'm looking at the next one. That being Project Scorpio, by the way.
Yeah, I think that they've really kind of started to gear down on the Xbox One and really pump a lot of resources into Scorpio and get developers on board for that. I think, like, out of the three, I think Sony is the kind of the company that can take a little step back and just say, we're winning this race, like, you guys are having to play catch up, so...
They're not Nintendo, though, are they? Can they really afford to do that? Hubris, my friend. Icarus flew close to the sun.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft has got the most work to do. And I think Nintendo are just going to keep on being Nintendo, and I think
there's nothing we can do to stop that bathroom light tube smoking motherfucker, is there really?
No.
But yeah, I reckon if PlayStation think that they can decide to take a step back, then I reckon they're mistaken, really. I reckon that's a dangerous thing to think, but I don't think they do think that. I reckon E3 this year, once again, they will be smashing the shit out of it. Do you remember last year's E3 when they released that zombie game with the horde of zombies running? What's it called? Days Gone?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
That's...
I'm starting these E3 press conferences thinking about now from PlayStation. They're marvelous. They're absolute Spielberg epics of conferences. But how many of these games are we seeing like one time over and we're never hearing from again?
You'll see Days Gone. Like, I think Bend, the studio working on the game, they've been they've been quiet for 7-8 years. Like, they have not had a game in a long time.
What did they do before?
I mean, Bend, they did like... Do you remember Siphon Filter?
Oh, I do, yeah. Very funny.
Yeah.
That guy ran funny, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like a fucking penguin, like a waddle. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think that they showed what they did a couple of years ago at E3, and I think it was moderately well received. I think that they've now had to go back and add a few more features. What really interests me about that game is not the zombies, it's the story. I think it's a really cool couple of characters that they've set up with a motorcycle gang. And I think being able to travel like across, imagine if you had like the US as like a hub world and you could travel on your bike across lots of different cities, that kind of stuff. I think that could work really well. The shooting, it doesn't look particularly incredible apart from the number of enemies on screen, but we'll see. I think that they've had to go quiet on that game quite purposefully to implement some new changes. I think from the feedback that they had from the last one. How about Spyro? What do you reckon?
What about Spyro?
Do you reckon we might see, in the vein of like Crash Bandicoot remastered, we're going to get a Spyro remastered?
That is I've never thought about that because I don't care, but I completely that could happen. Of course,
Spyro's a big deal.
There's money on the table. Yeah, exactly. There's money on the table to be made for all that.
Yeah.
So of course, could that happen this year? Yeah, probably. I never thought about that. Good shout. Why not?
Crash Bandicoot, I think we're gonna... Oh, we have a release date for that. In fact, that might even be out
Could have sworn
before
that's
E3.
Yeah, it's from what I've seen on the PlayStation Store. I even thought it was supposed to be by now.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely coming very soon anyway. Yeah, I mean, Death Stranding, I guess, is the other big one. Do you reckon we'll get any more of that? I really hope we don't.
It's not a game, it's a concept.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's still just somewhere floating around in Kojima's brain. But
I can't put down on paper yet, buddy. That's exactly what he sounds like.
I'm sure we'll see something of it, but I really just wish he'd just fuck off and just leave us alone until it's finished.
Well, he's not exactly been flooding the media with it anyway, has he, at the moment?
No.
Why are you being suddenly hard on Kojima?
Because I don't need... I know that whatever he's going to be doing is going to be good, and I would rather go into it.
You haven't heard about it since last E3, though.
Well, he's done stuff like he's released... I believe the soundtrack was released, or some songs that he was using for inspiration for the game, like he released on vinyl. I just wanted to just leave us alone. Just go away, make your game, take however long you want, but just stop teasing me, man. Just like a dick tease. Every year, like, it's coming. Any other kind of predictions? Anything else you'd like to see out of Sony E3? Do you think, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago actually, about the possibility of the PlayStation 5 coming out? Do you think that might be...
But it's going to come out next year, I'm telling you, it's coming out next year.
I think they're going to have to do something to compete with Scorpio. I don't know.
If it is coming out next year, it is pretty much going to have to get announced soon, isn't it?
well, either that or they have this same for next year's E3, and it's like it's out in a month.
Actually, maybe, I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe that is the crux of this year's E3 conference for Sony, that they announced the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Okay, so let's move on to the news. First bit of news, like I said, we haven't done a podcast in a couple of weeks, so we've got a little bit to talk about. Let's talk about Zelda, and the news that Legend of Zelda, in some form or another, is supposedly coming to smartphones. Any thoughts about this?
I have many thoughts about this, Saul. I'm glad you asked. My first reaction was, oh goody! The Super the Super. I misspoke there, people. Calm the fuck down. The NES Zelda is coming to smartphones! Yay! This is not confirmed at all. But that's what I thought was going to happen, and I've never played the NES one, and I thought that would be a perfect example for them to do. However, with hindsight and a little bit of thought, I reckon there's going to be some bullshit Zelda game coming out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a port. I think it's going to be a new Zelda game. Whether it's... I don't think it's going to be an infinite runner or anything like that, but I think it's going to be like a loot-based dungeon crawling. No, I don't.
Oh, you've great faith. I can see that happening completely.
I don't know. I think that Mario totally lends itself to being a runner, but I don't think Zelda does at all.
Not a runner specifically, though. Can you not see it being some bullshit iOS sort of specified genre of game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be like loot-driven. My worry about this is microtransactions.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. Like, pay $10 and you get 5 extra chests or something like that. Like, fuck off, man. Fuck off. Like, again, that's speculation, but I really hope that it doesn't turn into that. And I think, like, I would much prefer to pay 10, 20 quid for a game, even if it is on the iPhone, but just to have everything there, not to have to faff around with microtransactions and bullshit like that. But we'll see. It's Nintendo. Who fucking knows? Who knows?
Maybe that won't happen. Maybe it will be a port of one of the old ones. Because at the end of the day, Zelda has sort of this weighty artistic integrity about it, and maybe that's where they break the mold. Because I can see that someday that they are going to start porting the stuff over to iOS. I'm sorry to struggle with the sentence there, because when I was saying that, I actually lost confidence with that train of thought. I know it isn't going to happen, is it? Why would they do that? I don't know.
Again, but you see, like for me, the idea of like the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, removes the need to be able to have to port your games over to iPhone.
Exactly, and they don't want to do that. They've been very, very clear about that with the way that they're behaving. So sorry about that. It's just wishful thinking, isn't it?
Zelda.
Link!
Oh boy, smooching time!
Ah!
Oh.
Don't try that again, Buster.
Okay, next piece of news we have for you this week is Far Cry 5, which is a thing, and it was announced...
What's our game, so?
It was announced in an Ubisoft's earnings call this week. We didn't see any gameplay or anything, but we did see a logo, which has caused quite a lot of conversation around the internet.
Okay.
Mainly because the logo, or particularly I think the letter 5, has got the colours of red, white and blue, which instantly made people jump to think that this was going to be set in America in some form or another. Forgetting that France could also be France, or Thailand perhaps.
I love your misguided train of thought, so that's brilliant.
Far Cry 5.
God bless you though, God bless you. I wish we lived in a world where people thought that way, but it's not true though, is it?
So, what do you think about it then? What do you think it tells us?
The rumours that I've heard that it's going to be a Western. I heard like rumours a couple of weeks ago, I was going to this up, that somewhere in California there was a film crew like filming Western footage for a computer game, and everybody instantly thought it was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And then like a week later it was like, no, this is a Far Cry game. So I reckon that it could possibly be a Western, and I'd love that. I think that'd be excellent. I think I'd love to see a Far Cry Western game.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe, however, thinking about it now, it could be Westerns, the tropes, aren't they? They're American tropes. So I don't. Maybe it could be something different that we're not actually thinking about. Maybe we're not thinking outside the box on this one. But my opinion is that it's going to be a Western.
You see, I heard a bit of news against that, and that at the earnings call, the reporter basically asked the head of Ubisoft, Yves Yves Gilmore, I think his name is,
Fit.
was like,
This guy, never mind. Carry on.
you're not worried about Far Cry 5 going up against Red Dead Redemption both being westerns, and Yves was like, it's not a western. Basically, just in those words, it's not a western.
What is it then, though?
I don't know.
So it's obviously a very American-centric kind of thing.
Why do we think that? The only thing
because they've done a western, because they've got a western trailer in the can that's going to be released very shortly.
How do you know it's a western though? Everybody, the only evidence for this is 3 colours, which could, again, it could be a number of different countries around the world. Like most likely, yeah, it's American.
I'm starting to come around to what you're thinking.
But I just don't think. I don't know. I can't
you might
see
be right,
it
actually,
being a western.
to be honest with you. If you're wrong, then I'm going to fucking rub it in your face. But I am starting to come around to your way of thinking. So we've got red, white, and blue. Could be American. Could also not be. That's all pointed out. We've got a trailer here.
Could be UK, man. Could be the UK. Hello, sir. Tally ho. You never know.
Far Cry bowler hat.
Yeah. I just think the problem I have with this is that traditionally Far Cry games have been open world games, like big open expanses
This
set
one
on
is going to
tropical
be as well.
islands.
I'm convinced of that.
Well, that's why I'm saying that if it's going to be America, I think that the only thing that they could do would be a western. Because I don't think you're going to be able to set it in like fucking inner city Detroit or
Nobody
something
wants to
like
see
that.
that.
Well, I don't think they can, because I don't think it goes well with the Far Cry formula of
No, it doesn't.
open worlds.
Far Cry is getting more outlandish as it goes along, and it should do, because that's what I like. That's what I want to see. It's something different.
The other thing that Far Cry is known for is its wildlife as well. Think about that, like what kind of, okay, you could maybe...
Dinosaurs, man, I've told you this before. We want to see a Far Cry dinosaur game.
You heard it here first. Far Cry 5 is set in space.
Far Cry Owls. Far Cry Owl Sanctuary.
Moving on, another bit of Ubisoft news. Quite a lot of leaks came out recently about the new Assassin's Creed game, and it looks pretty certain that it's going to be set in ancient Egypt, right?
Yeah, I told you, didn't I? Didn't you give me shit about it the last time we talked about it?
I don't think...
Told you so, you did, you gave me shit about it.
Whatever. I don't think I ever said that. I don't think it's going to be set in Egypt, but I was open to ideas.
What did you think, Sol? What did you actually think?
The reason I'm thinking this is because they've always been going forward. Every Assassin's Creed game has jumped forward a few years, which was why I was thinking, I don't really know, looking at Syndicate and Unity, the last couple ones, you can't
This
really
one was
go...
going to be an origin story that was set in stone, though, wasn't it? This was going to be an origin story. Was.
What? Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Okay, fair enough. What are you thinking anyway? I'm interested in your train of thought, so please do carry on.
If you're looking at Victorian, which was the Victorian period, which was Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where do you go from there? Do you go to World War One, which was partly in Unity, right?
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah.
Have you played this game?
No, I didn't play Unity. No.
It was really bad. The bits where they went to World War One, it was shit. It was just crap, man. It was sort of disconnected from the main game and really poorly put together.
Yeah.
It felt like Medal of Honor in PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
It was really bad. I've probably said this before, and I'm sorry, Mr. Robot, if it's pissing you off hearing the same shit again. But the next Assassin's Creed game should have been about assassinating one Adolf Hitler.
Hat uns geschlagen, wer sie geschmäht hat uns geschmäht, wer sie vergewaltigt hat uns vergewaltigt.
It should have been. Am I wrong? That's Assassin's Creed 5.
Could have been, yeah. But I think that from the leaks that we're getting, it's pretty certain it's going back to Egypt.
No, it is. Okay. Let's remove the certain from the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've always said, and we've all already known, Assassin's Creed Origin, whatever it's going to be called, the title is going to change. It's set in Egypt, and from what I'm hearing, it's part of a new classical trilogy. It's an origin story.
Interesting.
It's set in Egypt, and there's been a screenshot released. Have you seen this new screenshot?
No.
You've not?
No.
Alright, okay, well, basically, a screenshot has been released, and it's basically a dude on an old schooly, BC boat, looking like he's
nice.
In Egypt, basically. He's in the Nile or somewhere, and in the top left-hand corner, there's the quest is assassinate a crocodile. Yeah, seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, it is.
Do you think there's going to be ship combat, kind of like Black Flag? Or?
It's by the team that did Black Flag.
Okay.
There's heavy. It's. I can only tell you what I know, but I only speak with certainty of things that in my heart that I think are true, and I've been right most of the time.
Yeah.
It's set in Egypt. There is going to be heavy ship combat.
Awesome.
It's also going to be. I don't know what they mean by this, but it's apparently a thing. It's a really bizarre thing for me to say. They love The Witcher 3. I think a lot of you have probably heard this, but they're trying to go more of an RPG. Witcher 3. Witcher 3 keeps getting brought up in the conversation by Ubisoft.
Wow.
When they talk about it, they're trying to go more of that route about it. So we'll see how that plays out. Because when I saw the screenshot, I was like, oh, cool, and I'm really looking forward to playing an Assassin's Creed game. Which, by the way, this game's going to be out in November this year.
Yeah,
it's happening. It's so yeah, E3 by the way. So we're seeing it at E3. That's when it's going to come out. But also, when I saw that screenshot and I saw the assassinate a crocodile, after I finished laughing about assassinate the crocodile, I also thought, Jesus, you need to do something more though. You need to make this different. You need to evolve. You do need to evolve. You really do.
Yeah.
It's fine taking the year off for franchise fatigue. However, you do need to tackle the reason why there is franchise fatigue in the first place. You need to change it up.
Yeah.
So I hope that they do. But I am honestly, I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there was something else that really interesting that came out of the earnings call to do with Assassin's Creed. They didn't say this about Assassin's Creed specifically, but they definitely said that Ubisoft are now concentrating on releasing games as a platform or as a service, right? So like,
what does that mean?
Well, it means so like you're not just going to get a game and that's it. It's going to be like there's going to be that game is going to have like a 5 or 6 year lifespan, and they're going to keep adding onto it with DLC and expansions, kind of like the Destiny model, right? Or like stuff like The Crew or stuff like that. You know, other Ubisoft games which just get bigger and bigger.
Do you not mean as a franchise? Because Destiny is different because it's sort of the World of Warcraft model where they have expansions. Whereas what you're talking about is Ubisoft, because for announced Crew 2, yeah? Crew 2 has been announced already.
Yeah.
That's a sequel. It's not sort of a DLC that continues the legacy of the first one.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is I think that with Assassin's Creed 5, you might get, like, say that the base game is set in Egypt, then you might get an expansion. It could be set somewhere totally different. Like, I think that if you look at, like, the evolution of games, like, for example, like, look at Mortal Kombat, for example. You have, like, the base number of characters, and then that game has been going on for like 3 or 4 years now, and they're still adding more characters and more stuff to do. So it's like, and for free as well, a lot of the time. Like, it's not always paid DLC. So I think we are, like, they said this themselves, that they're looking at games as a service rather than just a standalone game. Here it is, it's done, it's finished. It's like a lot of developers now are coming around to the idea that they can make a lot more money really just focusing on 1 or 2 games to start with, and then just building on it and getting a bigger franchise and just getting more and more people involved and giving it like legs in terms of like online components and just added features, you know. So I don't know, it's possible. I don't think Assassin's Creed 5 is the best model for
I don't know what you're saying, to be completely honest with you, Sol. It's like old hat news. This is the way AAA publishers have been doing shit for years and years and years. It's evolved with the pre-order bullshit. It's Ubisoft's complete microtransaction bullshit. Am I missing your point completely here? What?
I think you're thinking on too small of a timescale. So I think like if you get a game, it comes out within a year and a half, you're not getting any more content for that game. Generally, right? All the DLCs come out, everything's come out after a year and a half.
And then what? They release like a sequel or something?
Yeah, so you have a sequel, like maybe 2 or 3 years after that.
What are you talking about? This is the way games are. This is the way.
No, but this is what I'm saying. That Ubisoft are saying that they will have a game and it will last for 5 or 6 years before they even start developing. So
the Destiny development.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like Destiny.
But they tried that with the Division, didn't they? And that fucking failed. But not said the next one wouldn't do. But
the Division didn't fail. The Division was done very, very well.
Yeah. Are we seeing year 2 Division content? Well, not how we saw it. It's not going to happen. Am I wrong in thinking that?
No, you'll get a new Division, but I mean, like,
we'll get a sequel to it, but we're not going to get year 2 Division. Because remember, the first DLC was called Division Year 1 content. What does that mean? The fact that they've branded it that way.
Yeah, maybe.
The fact that they had a long-term plan, just like Destiny.
Yeah.
Division Year 2 isn't happening because it hasn't done that well.
Yeah.
Player base has dropped.
But it does happen with some of the Ubisoft games. Rainbow Six Siege has just got year 2 content.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
fair play.
I think I don't know. I think it's an interesting business model, and I think we will get more and more games going this way, rather than a new game every 2 years. There'll be one game and they'll just upgrade it, and it'll last 5 or 6 years.
No, I'm
instead.
with you. Destiny model. That's the only way I can get my little
Yeah.
tiny
Okay.
bit. Or the World of Warcraft model.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll do World of Warcraft 2?
No, because the patches and the expansions for World of Warcraft change the game dramatically. It's not just extra content; it's entirely new, graphics upgrades.
Oh,
They
really?
do essentially change the game.
If I get a PC, will you play World of Warcraft?
No, absolutely not. I will never fucking touch that game, because that is a dark rabbit hole that I've stayed away from for the last 10, 12 years, whatever. And
Why,
I'm not
though?
going down it now. Because, well, no, I've never had a decent enough PC, really.
Can we play Final Fantasy 14 together then?
No. We've still got to get around to playing Bloodborne together.
I keep asking you, you're a cunt.
You called me up at 11 o'clock. Right, let's play Bloodborne. No, I'm asleep. Anyway, moving on. This, I think, is really interesting. And something that I think we could talk at length about is the fact that Alan Wake, which is a game made by Remedy, really, really great game, is no longer available to be bought digitally, right? So you can still buy it second-hand, obviously, in retail, but it's disappeared from all digital marketplaces because of licensing reasons, I believe, to do with the soundtrack, right?
Sure.
So
I've heard that. That's fucking weird. I hate that. That's awful.
Yeah.
This is really bad.
the whole idea, to me, or one of the kind of advantages to a digital-only future in terms of games distribution, is that these games are always going to be available. They're just out in the cloud. You don't have to go and find a
We've talked about this before, yes, exactly, yeah. But we've just been hit with a roadblock with that, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's a little bit worrying, you know? I buy probably about 50% of my games on retail, 50% digitally. Here's the thing, right? There are games that you can only buy retail, right? But you can buy everything digital, right? So if you are one of these people that likes to play everything, then you're going to predominantly buy stuff digitally going forward, I think. Does that make sense? If you, for example, The Witness, you can only, an incredible game, you can only buy it digital.
Okay.
You know, a lot of smaller indie games, because putting a game on a disc costs quite a lot of money. Getting those relationships with retailers and costs money. So for a lot of smaller studios, it's way much of a better idea just to put it out digital.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But I just think, in terms of Alan Wake, I think this is quite worrying, you know?
Yeah, because this is a AAA game.
Yeah, huge AAA game that did really, really well. Loads and loads of people loved that you can no longer buy.
Yeah, that's fucked up, honestly. I was really shocked about this. I'm kind of upset. And I was planning on actually fucking buying it so I could have it, and I forgot about it because just life gets in the way. And now it's gone, man. I really wanted the one again digital. That's a shame. Alan Wake's a good game, man.
Yeah.
And it's gone. There needs some sort of charity for this. It really does.
Well, there are lots of charities that deal with there's a couple, let's say, not lots, that deal with archiving games and, you know, keeping games alive. Old games that, you know, you can't buy necessarily anymore at retail, that they will keep on servers and keep them there for people to, you know, almost like a digital museum kind of thing. There are charities that deal with that kind of stuff. A digital museum,
that's exactly the perfect way of putting it, as opposed to charity, because if you're thinking that and you're spazzing out at me about donkeys and shit like that, chill out.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, mixed feelings about the digital-only future, because, you know, PT, for example, another example of this, an incredible game that you can never ever get again unless you got it at the time it came out. So, not many examples of this, but it could happen more down the line.
There aren't many examples of the digital future being negative, because we always thought that it would be such a glorious sunshine thing and then blah blah blah, better than physical media. But the one or two examples of Alan Wake and PT, they're gone. They are actually gone. Yeah. Because if something doesn't exist physically, you can't play it on eBay and things like that. Yeah. It's it's a curveball to the conversation of the digital future. Yeah. That we all need to really, really think about. Because the next generation, I don't know if it's PlayStation 5 next year, by the way, I do feel it's happening. I don't think it's going to be digital only. I don't think they are ready to take the hit yet. But it is going to eventually happen. That it is going to be a digital only future. And we are going to be at the whim of these publishers. We're not going to have options and things like that. It's very, very bizarre. Then again, is there going to be some sort of way that... I mean, I've got PT on my hard drive, yeah? There's no way that I can copy that file.
No, you can only copy what's on your hard drive to another hard drive, but you can't copy just PT, for example.
I reckon there's we need to figure out how to do that. I don't care if it is illegal, hackery, whatever. Yeah, but at the end of the day, art is art, and we shouldn't be at the whims of the boardroom of fucking whoever.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because, like, who... At the end of the day, there are hundreds of people that work on these games and pour, hundreds and thousands of hours and money into these kind of things, and then they do get released. When a lot of the time when that works with art or other mediums of art, then it's there in the public domain just for consumption, but they still have the rights to their work. So if they wanted to pull it from the marketplace, they absolutely have the right to do that. It's sad, to think that, going back to Alan Wake, that we're a lot of people will never be able to play
That's
that again.
Grim. That was a good. It was a good game.
Yeah. So, rest in peace, Alan Wake.
Not a great game, though. No.
On to question of the week. A bit of interesting news, or more of a little quote that we're going to read into, came out of Sega this week, which was that they are interested in bringing back a lot of what they called their major IPs. What major IPs does Sega have?
It's like you read my goddamn mind. Because Sega's a bit like...
Sonic, yeah, alright.
Well, Sonic, you've already fucking raped that. Right, so, Echo the Dolphin, yeah?
That's literally one of the only other ones that springs to mind. And we've not had an Echo game since...
Dreamcast, yeah, sorry. Was that game any good? I've never played it.
We talked about this. It's the one that I kept using to break the Dreamcasts in PlayStation Cafe at cinema.
Oh yeah,
it was good for breaking Dreamcasts. But I mean, Echo the Dolphin was good. But is it still relevant? 15 years later?
Listen, at the end of the day, Sega could not keep up with Nintendo. Nintendo are geniuses who smoke a lot of crack, and Sega were kind of alright. They did Sonic. Yeah. It was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't really that mastery of game design, really, was it? Think about it.
Yeah.
Compared to Mario. But other IPs. Comic Zone, is that a Sega IP?
This is when it starts to get hard, right? Because I'm going back 20 years and I've done a fair amount of drugs since then, and my brain isn't what it used to be. I'm just trying to remember, like, what IPs does Sega actually own? Like, comics.
Exactly. I don't know the league.
Like fuck knows, man. I mean, you can, like, Golden Axe, for example. I think
they don't own that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. We should probably do research.
I played that on the Mega Drive.
Eurogamer, please give us a job. We really do our research.
Toe Jam and Earl, really, like, one of my favourite games growing up as a kid. I think it was Sega exclusive, but I don't think Sega owned the rights to it.
Yeah, because they really did love to have that Sonic shit locked down, didn't they? And that was it. They never, and the Echo, and that's it. Shenmue,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and
but we know that's
maybe that's what they're talking about, though.
We knew that already.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna make a Shenmue side-scrolling RPG for the
Knights.
Knights, yeah, okay, yeah. Is that a major IP? One game.
It's what's cult
classic.
Cult. It's a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's cult loved. Other than that, what else is there? I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to think of
really fucking
what was that first person shooter on Mega Drive called? Did you never play it? Craig had it. It was great. It was fucking the shits.
No, I don't think I ever played this.
It wasn't an IP anyway, but anyway, never mind. That train of thought has shat itself and died on the train, and none of its mates let him know.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so let's say this, that we're struggling to name IPs that Sega own, right? That we know that they own.
Yeah.
What can Sega do to redeem themselves? to become relevant again.
Shenmue 3 could be awesome. They should do that, and they need to. It's fucking clear as day, and if they don't do this, then you're stupid. You need to release Shenmue 1 and 2 first in HD, because Shenmue 3 is it's like releasing season 4 of Game of Thrones and expecting people to jump on board with it.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You need to. I'm assuming they are, because I'm not retarded. Whatever. Right. So yeah, they have to do that. And other than that, I don't really know what else is there. There isn't much, is there?
No, I mean, I'll say that just about Shenmue that it was all written to be a trilogy, wasn't it?
It's going to be 4 games.
Oh, 4? Wow, okay. Yeah. Do you reckon we'll get Shenmue? Well, I think we're jumping ahead of
If
ourselves there,
Shenmue
aren't
3
we?
works out, then it'll be Shenmue 4. I think the real conversation there is it the same? Because maybe the same guy isn't the same author. I don't know his name.
The same director, yeah.
And he did say it was going to be 4 games. So maybe this is actually legit back in 2000 what he thought number 3 was going to be all about.
My worry is, man, why go to Kickstarter for that? Like, if you believe that Shenmue still has that much weight and that it's still going to sell well, why go to Kickstarter? If Sega believe in it, why aren't Sega funding it out the fucking gate? If you believe in your product, then don't go and ask people on the street for money. You fund the product. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe they don't have that much money. What have they got? These really horrible Sonic games that don't sell well.
But surely Sony's funding that as well. If it was on stage at the Sony conference.
That's what I just tried to say.
Yeah,
but they can't be funding it if it's going to go to Xbox as well, though. Although I did hear that they were for that. In the back of mind, isn't Shenmue 3 Xbox? Oh, not Xbox. The opposite. PlayStation exclusive.
I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't think it might be a timed exclusive. But who knows? I don't remember now. Like I said, a lot of drugs in the last couple of years.
Some drugs. Not all of the drugs, but definitely some drugs.
I loved Sonic as a kid, and it pains me to see Sonic just the piece of shit that he is now, the joke that Sonic has become.
Lovely scarf though.
Lovely. I like his shoes. And what was it? Amy. I had a weird crush on Amy as a kid, which was weird.
Did you read the comics?
Crush on a pink hedgehog. What?
Did you read the comics?
No. I watched the animated series, which was alright. But I loved Sonic for the games, you know. And it just make a good Sonic game. Good Sonic game. And I hope Sonic Mania is going to be good. I really do hope. Back to the old 2D side-scrolling.
I've beyond stopped paying attention at all.
I think it's going to be good, man. I think it's going to be great.
Cool, good for them.
Yeah.
I don't think the Sonic games, the old Mega Drive ones that I've got on my Xbox One, yeah, they're great fun to play, but they're not as good. They are. Let's be completely all honest with each other. Comment in the comment section. They're nowhere near as good as the Mario games. The Mario games have an incredibly specific design philosophy to them, and the Sonic games are just fast, speed, go, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Like, the main mechanic of Sonic is speed, which Mario doesn't have, but it does everything else better.
But Mario has everything put by a genius in a perfect place for a perfect reason.
Yeah, I think that again it goes back to what you used to play as a kid. Like, I had a Mega Drive, so I never got to play Mario until like quite a few years later. You know, I played them around at mates' houses and that kind of stuff, but I never actually sat down to really play through like Mario 3 or Super Mario World, something like that, you know, until quite a number of years later. And only then was I like, wow, this is way better. Like, Sonic is shit compared to this. Yeah, fuck, man, I've been wrong. Like,
Sonic is like getting a fire hose and spraying it fucking everywhere, whereas Mario is like a sharpshooter.
Yeah, like a pressure washer. And on that note, that brings us to another end of this episode of the Save State Gaming Podcast. So, thanks again, everybody, for listening to us. Scotty, anybody else that's listening to us. Join in again next week. We'll have another fun-filled, factual episode of gaming goodness to caress your earlobes.
Caress them with the tip of your penis. So, but yeah, video games, awesome!
Did you know that Theresa May fucking hates video games?
Did you know that Theresa May lays eggs?
She's a lizard.
She's a lizard, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, we love you all very, very much. I'm sorry for that negative political thing, but it's only our future.
See you next week. Bye!
Bye!
Music in this week's episode was brought to you by Joey Pocarero, Artificial Music, Silent Partner, Encato, Context, Kevin MacLeod, and Tones Pros. Make sure to check out our YouTube videos for all the links to their works, and thank you once again for listening.